My name's Alice, and my father was one of the founder members of this theatre. He joined Joan Littlewood's company when he was 17 in Manchester, and he came down to London with them when they found the theatre. So he was part of the crew, the group that refurbished the theatre, and he was in most of the early shows, such as The Hostage and Christmas Carol. Uranium 235. He was in all the early shows, and he just told me loads of stories about it. And I remember when I was a child, him saying, I'm going off to the theatre, and it was like this really important place. And I came here a few times. And every time I come here now, I feel like my dad's spirit is here somehow. You know, it always felt like a special place when I came here as a child. Well, obviously, I loved the Big Life and Five Guys Named Mo, but one of the more recent shows I've seen was How Not to Drown. I thought that was really, really powerful. There was also a show with Lenny Henry in, King Hedley. I thought that was really good as well. The shows at Stratford, well, for me, it goes back to Joan Littlewood's legacy. Her vision was all about a people's theatre, a theatre that would put on plays that reflected the people in the local community and the multicultural community that the theatre is in, and London, basically, and that would reflect their interests and their concerns. And I think all of the subsequent theatre directors have carried on that legacy. Philip Hedley, obviously, Kerry Michael. And I think that is something really important. And it also, there's an ethos about the theatre, about nourishing young talent, bringing up young people who have many of whom have gone on to have really successful careers. And I think it's that thing about making theatre relevant to ordinary people, which has always been the kind of the ethos of the whole theatre. And I think that sets it apart from a lot of other theatres. Well, particularly the West End theatres, they don't really count for me. But even the other kind of smaller theatres, they don't really have that feeling of being embedded in the community. You know, my dad used to talk about people coming to the theatre in the early days, and they'd bring like blankets, and because there was no heating in the theatre, it was so cold. But all the local people came because the tickets were really cheap, so it was really accessible, and they were really interested in what was in the shows that were on.